Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah. So they asked the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who's the best among the people? The Prophet ﷺ replied, a believer who strives his uttermost in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's cause with his life and property. They asked, who is next? The Prophet ﷺ said, a believer who stays in one of the mountain paths, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and leaving the people secure from his mischief. So it's very important not to cause mischief, and especially in this day and age where it can happen everywhere, on the internet, on the phones, you name it. And basically you should always be remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and like 1 hour you don't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to regret that so much in the next life. Now Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, tells people to work for the next life. That's what when he came down, that's what he was telling people. But as you can see today, the New World Order, the Dajjal and that, they'll just tell you, work for this world. They'll make you think, buy more, you'll be happy. Things like that, through illusions and stuff. They'll just try and make you dedicate your whole life to try and achieve these illusions, which they're trying to make this pleasure, this haram. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, the cousin of the Holy Prophet, always like, they asked him who's the best in faith, and he said the best in faith among the believers is the one who has the best manners. So remember, in this day and age, like what's going on around us, there's a lot of people bad manners. You have to have the best manners, and then you can be, that's how you're the best in faith. Always have best manners. And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, the grandson of the Holy Prophet, said taqwa, yeah, that proper firm belief, yeah, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not miss you in the place where he has commanded you to be, and does not see or find you in a place where he's forbidden you to go. Now Imam Ali alayhi salam says taqwa is concealment of the good actions, steadfastness against disasters, and suppression of misfortunes. And these are the treasures of paradise. Now, inshallah, remember, Islam is love and peace. Yeah. They asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, one of the atheists, he said, I want to see God. So Imam Sadiq alayhi salam told him, look at the sun. So he goes, I can't, it's too bright. So Imam Sadiq told him, if you can't see the creation, so how are you going to see the creator? See, so he put it on him like that. And remember, yeah, everything you do, remember, mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name, so you can get blessing in that thing that you're doing. And always try and spread knowledge, because if you've got knowledge and you don't spread it, like, or you're very knowledgeable and you don't teach people the knowledge you have, you can get cursed, like with 70 different types of curses that will fall upon you, or disasters, 70 different types of disasters will fall upon you if you've got knowledge and you're not teaching it to people, you're not spreading it to people. So that's also something you should think about. Yeah. And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he said, one of the Imams, actually one of the grandsons of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, our true followers of the Prophet and the real Sunnah are those who when they are alone. The Prophet's Sunnah is obviously with his holy family, because they hold the real Sunnah, because they passed it on from their sons to their sons, the 12 Imams. But however, he says our true followers are those who, when they are alone, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot, abundantly. And Imam alayhi salam also said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created human beings except for recognizing him and worshipping him and knowing him, and when they worship him they would lack the need of adoring any other human beings or things other than him because of that worship. Allah subhanahu, the person who lends, like for example now you're listening to what I'm saying, if any person you listen to, if he's talking about things regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he's a speaker and it's talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's like you've worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if he's speaking Satan things and worldly things, it's as if you've worshipped Satan and worshipped worldly things. So remember, always when you're listening to something, make sure it's to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember, having good manners, like high manners, you can elevate to the ranks of the people who are fasting and truthful people who pray at night, worship at night. So that's how important good manners are. And remember, ask the scholars here and speak with them and sit with the poor as well, so you can gain like more knowledge and more humility. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says reciting the Quran and looking at it lightens the punishment of your mother and father, even if they are both disbelievers. So that's amazing. And anything in existence praise, everything in existence prays for forgiveness of the person who teaches Quran. And the house in which Quran is recited, angels will be present, it will receive barakah, blessings, and Satans will be distant from there. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I advise you, O Ali, to his cousin he was saying, to recite the Quran in every state you find yourself in. Remember, and nothing is harder for Satan to bear than a person who recites the Quran by looking at the pages. Remember, this is important. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, a person who recites the Quran will be free from need of any person, of every person, and therefore will not be in need of anything. But as for the one who does not recite the Quran, nothing at all will make him needless. He will always be in need of others. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the superiority of the Quran over the rest of the world is like the superiority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over His creation. Now, as you can see, the importance of Quran, very important. So something which people should take into serious consideration. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward the person who recites the Quran a great deal and makes a promise with it to try, and like if you make a promise to try and memorize it, even though it may be very, 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 very difficult, always try and memorize the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ said, the person who listens to even one verse of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is better for him than possessing a mountain of gold. So imagine how great this is. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the stages, the levels of stages of heaven is equivalent to the number of verses in the Quran. When a reciter of the Quran enters into heaven, it will be said to him, go up one level for every verse that you can recite. So no one will be on a higher level than the person who has memorized the entire Quran. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, if a person recites 100 verses, then says Ya Allah 7 times and asks for anything, it will be very easy for him to get that thing. That thing will come to him very quickly, and it will be more of a chance of getting answered. Now the Prophet ﷺ said, the recitation of the Quran removes sins, protects and is protection from hell. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the people of the Quran who recite and memorize the Quran will be in the highest level in heaven from amongst all the people, with the exception of the prophets and the messengers. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said, whoever angers Fatima, his daughter, angers me. And Fatima is the head of the women of paradise. And he said, Fatima alayhi salam is the joy, his daughter is the joy of my heart, and her sons are the fruits of my soul. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, no, the Imam alayhi salam said, people are respected in this world for possessing wealth, and in the hereafter for possessing righteous deeds. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, once when the Prophet Musa alayhi salam was engaged in a conversation with his Lord, the Almighty, he observed a person beneath the arsh, the throne of Allah. He asked, oh my Lord, why is this person who's being sheltered beneath the throne? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied, this person has been good towards his parents and never indulged in slandering them. So imagine the rewards for that.